G'day, legends. This weekend, UFC Fight Night, Moreno versus Kavanagh. Lands in Mexico, and it's shaping up to be an absolute war. Brendan Moreno, fighting in front of a home crowd, thrives under the lights. He's relentless on the feet, mixing slick striking with sharp counters, always pushing the pace and forcing mistakes. Moreno's cardio is insane, and when the crowd gets loud, he turns up the pressure even more. Kavanagh brings a smart, well-rounded game, heavy hands, crisp counters, and a pace that can grind even the toughest fighters down. He stays calm under pressure, picks his moments perfectly, and knows how to mix striking, angles, and timing to keep Moreno guessing. If you're ready for knockouts, slick counters, and pure fight night chaos, hit the like and subscribe. And let me and my husky guide you through every second of the action.
Oh, Mexico! Far to the south where the cactus grow. Tequila and a donkey show. Mexico, Mexico!
The altitude's high, pressure's higher. So have a shot of tequila and brace yourself. My husky's howling for this one.
The marijuana.
Kicking off the card, in the middleweight division, we have Schultz taking on Damian Pinas.
Colonel, you better take a look at this radar.
What is it, son?
I don't know, sir, but it looks like a giant dick.
Yeah.
Take a look out of starboard.
Oh my God, it looks like a huge...
Pecker!
Oh, where?
Wait, that's not a woodpecker. It looks like someone's...
Privates! We have reports of an unidentified flying object. It is a long, smooth shaft, complete with two balls.
What is that? That looks just like an enormous...
Wang! Pay attention.
I was distracted by that enormous flying...
Willie. Yeah. What's that? Well, it looks like a giant...
Johnson. Yes, sir.
Wes can win by using precise counters and clean combinations, landing the right shots at the right time. He needs to get the fight to the ground, and he can capitalize on scrambles and transitions to lock in a submission. Even if either fighter gets finished, Schultz can control the pace, stay active, and outwork Pinas to take the fight on points. Damian, however, is likely to come out fast, throwing heavy aggressive shots and mixing in volume striking to try and overwhelm Schultz early. He has the power and timing to catch Schultz with a big strike and end the fight before it goes the distance. Overall, expect Pinas to start strong and look for an early finish. Schultz may be able to weather the storm, but Pinas' aggression and knockout ability make him the favourite to end it inside the distance. Give me Damian Pinas by KO. In the men's featherweight division, we have Erik Silva taking on Francis Marshall. Erik wins the fight if he's able to dictate pace early. He's explosive, aggressive, and dangerous when fights get chaotic. If he can force scrambles and land sharp counters in exchanges, he can make Marshall uncomfortable in open space. That's where Silva thrives. He doesn't need a long fight, he needs moments, big bursts, quick level changes, and forcing Marshall into reactive grappling instead of composed control. If Silva can hurt him or create a wild scramble where he jumps on something, that's his path. His win condition is momentum and chaos. Francis wins the fight by tightening everything up. He's at his best when he turns fight into controlled grappling sequences. Doesn't need chaos, he needs structure. If he closes distance behind pressure, pins Silva to the cage, and starts chaining takedowns, that's where this shifts. Marshall is patient once he's on top. He'll settle into position, advance and wait for openings instead of rushing them. If he forces Silva to defend off his back repeatedly, the submission opportunities will come, especially as the fight wears on and the explosiveness fades. I see Francis breaking Silva down with pressure, forcing extended grappling exchanges, and eventually locking something up. Give me Francis Marshall by submission.
That he should turn rubber all on the salt sea, the salt sea, the salt sea.
In the women's flyweight division, we have Ernesta Kareckaitė taking on Sofia Montenegro. Ernesta wins the fight if she keeps it sharp and technical. She's at her best when she's fighting behind discipline, clean entries, tight combinations, and staying responsible defensively. If she controls distance and picks her shots and avoids getting dragged into wild exchanges, she can whack up rounds. Sofia wins the fight by turning it gritty. She doesn't want a clean point fighting match. She wants pressure, physicality, and moments. If she steps forward constantly, forces clinch exchanges, and makes it uncomfortable, that's where the momentum can shift. I feel Ernesta's composure and shot selection will win the minutes over 3 rounds. Give me Ernesta Kareckaitė by decision. In the featherweight division, we have Douglas Silva de Andrade versus Javier Reyes. Douglas wins this by dragging Reyes into a war. He's at his best when his fights are fought at close range with heavy exchanges. If he pressures early, rips the body, and forces Reyes to trade in the pocket, that's where he does his best work. He doesn't need perfect technique, he needs impact. If he can land the harder shots and make Reyes feel that power early, the fight swings in his direction. Reyes wins the fight by being the sharper, more composed striker. He doesn't want a reckless brawl, he wants controlled aggression. If he uses movement, picks his shots cleanly, and catches Andrade coming forward, the knockout window opens. I see Reyes staying composed early, letting Andrade pressure, and then finding a clean counter as Andrade steps in heavy. One sharp shot in a firefight could be all it takes. Give me Javier Reyes by knockout. In the bantamweight division, we have Cristian Quinonez versus Kris Moutinho. Cristian wins the fight by staying disciplined and sharp. He's at his best when he's calm and technical and picks clean shots while his opponent is overextending. If he controls range and keeps his combinations tight and doesn't get drawn into reckless exchanges, he can systematically break his opponent down. Kris wins the fight by doing what he always does. Make it miserable. He doesn't care about clean technique, he cares about pace. If he pressures non-stop, eats shots to give shots, and forces it into a grind, that's why the dynamic shifts. His passive volume and durability, if he can turn it into a war of attrition and drag it into deep waters. This fight really hinges on whether discipline holds up under relentless pressure. I think Cristian stays composed early, and eventually accumulation becomes too much. Give me Cristian Quinonez by knockout.
May the best of you bring true.
In the women's bantamweight division, we have Macy Chiasson taking on Ailin Perez. Macy wins this fight by turning it into a physical, clinch-heavy battle and making size matter. She's long for the division and dangerous in close quarters. If she keeps this up right early, uses straight punches to back Perez up, and forces clinch exchanges against the fence, that's her world. She wants knees up the middle, dirty boxing in tight, frame control and wear on Perez. If Chiasson keeps the fight tall and punishes entries, she can either grind out a position with control time or hurt Perez with knees and force a late TKO. Perez wins by making this a pressure wrestling fight. She thrives in chaos, forward pressure, clinch chains, Body locks, Matt returns. If she closes distance consistently and forces Macy to defend takedowns repeatedly, that's where momentum shifts. You want early takedown attempts to test balance, chain wrestling if first shot fails, top control of heavy hips, and ride the position and ground and pound. Back takes if Chiasson stands recklessly. If she gets extended control time, she can bank rounds early or find a submission in a scramble. I think this turns into a gritty fight. Macy has the physical tools, size, reach, and knees, but Perez fights with a level of aggression that can steal momentum if she's dictating pace. The big question, can Macy consistently stop takedown attempts? I lean slightly towards pressure and control, winning minutes here. Ailin Perez by decision. In the middleweight division, we have Jose Medina taking on Ryan Gandra. Medina wins the fight by making it uncomfortable from the opening bell. He doesn't want space. He doesn't want patience. He wants Gandra reacting instead of setting traps. If Medina can step in hard, close the gap, and force extended exchanges, he can completely flip the rhythm of the fight. His path is to overwhelm with quick entries, sharp combinations, smothering pressure. If he backs Gandra up and keeps him thinking defensively, he can take away the composure that makes Gandra dangerous. Gandra wins the fight by letting Medina come to him. He doesn't need to chase anything. In fact, the more Medina presses forward, the more opportunities Gandra will have to counter. His path is patience, draw out aggression and punish it. He keeps his eyes sharp and timing clean. He can start intercepting Medina as he enters range. A well-timed counter, a clean straight shot down the middle, or a hook as Medina crashes in. That's the moment. I think Medina starts fast. I think he tries to make this messy, but that urgency could be exactly what creates the opening. Give me Ryan Gandra by KO. In the bantamweight division, we have Santiago Luna versus Angel Pacheco. Luna wins by using his striking and composure to control the pace, maintain distance with straight punches and kicks, and counter Pacheco's forward pressure with timing and angles. Capitalize on scrambles to create openings for strikes. If he keeps the fight upright and disciplined, accumulate points over rounds for a decision or secure a late finish. Pacheco wins by using forward pressure and high-volume striking to disrupt Luna's rhythm. He can close the distance aggressively to force exchanges and mix in takedowns or clinches if Luna backs up too much. He'll want to look for finishing opportunities in the scrambles or mid-round exchanges. If he maintains constant pressure, he can steal the rounds and look for that knockout in the later round. This fight is likely going to be striking heavy, but with moments of scrambles. Luna's disciplined approach could outpoint Pacheco, but Pacheco's aggression makes it competitive. Give me Santiago Luna by decision.
You're just another pretty frame full of...
In the flyweight division, we have Imanol Rodriguez taking on Kevin Borjas. Rodriguez wins by controlling the fight with his technical striking and well-timed counters. He'll want to use distance management and leg kicks to frustrate Kevin, counter over-aggressive entries with crisp combinations, and capitalize on scrambles and clinches to secure control. If Rodriguez stays disciplined and avoids extended grappling exchanges, he can outstrike Kevin across the rounds, possibly land a fight-ending shot in the later rounds. His path to victory is clean striking, smart positions, and capitalizing on mistakes. Kevin wins by imposing pressure and forcing Rodriguez into close quarters. He'll want to drive the pace with forward pressure, use clinches and takedowns to test Rodriguez's balance, and look for ground and pound or submissions if he gains top control. If he can successfully close the distance consistently, he can steal rounds by controlling the correct cage and scrambles, potentially finish with a submission or a scramble. This will be a fast-paced flyweight fight. Rodriguez's technical striking give him the edge if he keeps Kevin at range, but Kevin's pressure can make it messy. Give me Imanol Rodriguez by decision. In the flyweight division, we have Edgar Chairez taking on Felipe Boons. Chairez wins if he mixes his striking with his grappling. He'll want to use the striking to create openings to bait Boons into overcommitting, pull him into scrambles and clinch exchanges, and look for submission opportunities off takedown attempts or scrambles. If Chairez capitalizes on a sloppy entry or overextended punch from Boons, he can lock in a submission, whether that's an armbar, guillotine or triangle. Finish the fight before it goes to the scorecards. His path to victory is patience, smart positioning, and catching Boons off guard with submission threats. Boons wins by pressure and grappling volume. He'll want to push Chairez to the fence and work clinch chains. Chain the takedowns and look for top control and attempt ground and pound submission if Chairez leaves openings. If Boons keeps forward pressure and dominates the mat exchanges, he can dominate the rounds and possibly find a submission if Chairez makes a mistake. This fight will hinge on grappling exchanges and smart countering. Chairez has the skill to bait Boons into scrambles and exploit openings. If he times it right, he can catch Boons in a submission mid-fight. Give me Edgar Chairez by submission. In the lightweight division, we have Daniel Zellhuber versus King Green. Daniel wins if he turns this fight into a distance clinic. He's long for the division, and if he establishes jab early and keeps Green on the end of the straight shots, it becomes frustrating fast. He doesn't need to rush, he just needs to keep Green resetting, long combination, step off at angles, make Green react. If Green starts shelling up and waiting to counter, that's where Daniel can pile up volume and take over rounds. Green wins if he makes it messy and personal. He's at his best when fights get scrappy and emotional. If he slips inside for that long reach, starts shoulder rolling, popping short counters, and talking while doing it, he'll drag Daniel into a rhythm he's not comfortable with. Green doesn't need huge power shots, he needs timing, catching Daniel as he exits, countering the jab and making him hesitate. The size difference and composure feel like they matter here. Green will have moments, he always does, but over 3 rounds, I think the younger, longer striker controls range more consistently. Give me Daniel Zellhuber by decision.
Northern light, come and dry my eyes.
In the bantamweight division, we have Marlon Vera versus David Martinez. Vera wins this fight by dragging it into the kind of grind he thrives in. He's incredibly patient and doesn't mind losing minutes if it means collecting reads. If David starts fast, Vera will absorb that, adjust, and begin targeting the body and leg. Once that damage starts adding up, his pressure becomes heavier and more calculated. He'll want to slow the fight down and land harder shots, make David feel every exchange. David wins the fight with discipline and activity. The key is not getting lured into Vera's rhythm. Vera is at his most dangerous when opponents stand in front of him and trade at pace. David needs to stay first, stay busy, and stay smart. That means clean combinations, quick exits, and constant movement. Touch Vera early and often. Don't load up. Don't admire your work. Just score, reset, and keep the tempo high. If David can maintain that pace across 3 rounds, not just one, he can bank minutes. I think Vera will have his moments. He always does. But I see David staying composed and not overreacting to the pressure. Give me David Martinez by decision.
Let the bodies hit the...
In the main event of the evening in the flyweight division, we have Brendan Moreno taking on Lona Kavanagh. Brendan wins the fight with pace and layers. He's at his best when he mixes everything together. Sharp boxing combinations into level changes, scrambling onto mat returns, pressure into volume. He doesn't fight in straight lines. He forces extended exchanges and makes opponents work every second. If he pushes a high tempo early, he can test Lona's composure immediately. Brendan's biggest weapon isn't just skill, it's relentlessness. If he forces scrambles and makes it messy in spots and keeps the output high, he can start taking over rounds. And once Brendan builds momentum, he snowballs. The pressure increases, the combinations get longer, the confidence grows. That's when he becomes extremely difficult to deal with. Kavanagh wins this fight by staying sharp and disciplined. He doesn't get dragged into chaotic pace battle. Brendan thrives there. Instead, Kavanagh needs to control distance, land clean straight shots, and make Brendan reset before he can build combinations. Precision is the key. If he keeps the fight at striking range and makes Brendan pay for entries, he can create hesitations. Brendan is hittable when he comes forward aggressively, and that's where opportunities open up. If Kavanagh defends the grappling well and keeps exchanges short and clean, he can frustrate Brendan. Winning the technical striking battle and forcing Brendan to chase is his clearest path. I see Kavanagh having moments at range, landing clean shots, but Brendan gradually increases the pace and mixes in grappling to disrupt rhythm. Give me Brendan Moreno by decision.
Conmigo otra vez. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.